Autism is one of the fastest growing disorders, with the World Health Organization stating that 1 in every 68 children has an autism spectrum disorder. Each special needs child needs to be given attention, support, and encouragement in a way that is most effective for him or her. Many special needs people are very visually orientated and excel at creating 2D or 3D images. These skills can be translated into a variety of creative or industrial careers, including animator, CAD designer, photographer, architect, illustrator, or an artist. Soft skills for special needs people may include attention to detail, prolonged concentration, lack of bias, pattern identification, systematic analysis, and a blunt communication style. These soft skills are valued in the technology field, where the work is detailed, repetitive, and discussions never ambiguous. Multimedia and design courses are very suitable for them to express out their thoughts and creativity. With the skills acquired, they can move on to make a career in advertising and producing magazine layout, for example, as a freelance worker. Hello, welcome to Multimedia and Graphic Designing course for special needs people. In this course, we'll be using Inkscape software to do graphic design. This course is aimed at special needs people who are interested in learning about multimedia and graphic design. So what are the requirements for this course? You will need an internet connection to download Inkscape and a PC, your personal computer. There are no prerequisites for this course, so you don't need to worry if you don't have any experiences at graphic design, since I will be teaching you from the very beginning. So what is Inkscape? Inkscape is a free and open source vector drawing program and is equivalent to commercial packages such as Adobe Illustrator. The current version is version 1.1, and it is constantly being developed and upgraded. The project website includes tutorials, guides, and forums, and you can find more about it in the link below. So what are vector graphics? It is an artwork made up of points, lines, and curves that are based upon mathematical equations rather than solid color square pixels, as you can see from the image below. This means that no matter the size or how far zoomed in the image is, the lines, curves, and points remain smooth. Now, what are the learning outcomes? So you'll be able to use Inkscape and the basic tools of Inkscape, and you'll be able to create colorful and high quality vector graphics such as logos, illustrations, infographics, and many more. So in the next video, we'll start with our lesson 1, which is on how to download and install Inkscape. Hello, and welcome to our first lesson. So for today's lesson, I will show you how to download and install Inkscape. So what you want to do is go to your web browser and go to Google and type in Inkscape. Then you want to click the first one here, inkscape.org. Click on it and it should go to the website, Inkscape website. Now you want to click download now and it should direct you to the download page, and then click on the Windows. Next, we'll click on the 64-bit. But if you're not sure between these two, you can always go here and find out. So for now, just click on the 64-bit and it will link you to this page. And you want to download the .exe format. and then the download should start. And you want to make sure you save it in the downloads folder here and save. But since I already have it, so I'll just click no. Then you want to go to your folder, click on the escape file here, double click on it, and wait for it to load. And then just click yes, and this screen should show up. And what you want to do is just click next, I agree, and create Inkscape desktop icon, then next, then destination folder. Make sure it's in your C drive and program files Inkscape. And you will need about 503.9 MB size. Make sure you have that. Then you just click next, next, and get there, and then click next. Install, then wait for it to install. And once you finish installing, this screen should show up, and click on Run Inkscape, and then click on Finish. And that should open the Inkscape application. Now we just wait for a while. And then it should show up like this. And that is it for our lesson 1 on how to download and install Inkscape. Thank you. Hello and welcome back to Multimedia and Graphic Designing course. So in previous class, we learned about how to download and install Inkscape. Now for this lesson, I will show you how to create a new document on Inkscape. So what you want to do is open Inkscape first, and then once you load up, it should look like this. Now before I start with the tutorial, I'd like to show you guys the interface first. So the interface is very simple and they make it easy for users to navigate around the software. So the first one here, in the left top corner, we have the menu bar. It consists file, edit, view, layer, object, path, text, filters, extensions, and help. This is just a basic menu bar that you can select save, export, import, and create a new document, which I will show soon in a while. And then next below it we have the what we call the snap toggle bar, snap tool. And then below it is the control bar, the command bar. It's basically like a shortcut from the file section and edit. So you can create, save, import, cut, copy, paste, duplicate, group, and stuff like that. And then below it, this is called the tools control bar. And here is the tools main bar. So this is the toolbox and then the tools control bar. They both link to each other, which I'll show more in the next couple of videos. So this is called the grid or ruler. This helps you to like guide when you're doing graphic design. If you want it to be like accurate size and stuff like that, you can use the guides to help you with the positioning and stuff. And then you just click delete. Just click delete on your keyboard to remove the lines. And then on the bottom here, we have the color palette. This is a quick way to color your objects. So there's a scroll bar here and It'll give you a color palette ranging from dark to a lighter color. And then here in the bottom, we have the status bar. So it shows what's the current status right now. So that you can also zoom in here, rotate, then the Y and X and Y axis, then the stroke fill, yeah. And this is the command bar too. Okay, now we'll move on with the tutorial. So how to create a new document. So what you can do is go to File, Create New. It will just open a new Inkscape page like this. And you can also use the command tool here, the shortcut command tool here, and then you can just click it from here. Or we can also open existing document from it too. So if you want to open from template, I'm sorry. So if you want to open from template, you go to click from template, yeah. And then there's lots of options here. There's A4 leaflet, about screen, blank page, like size, and then you can just explore all the templates they have. So envelope size, desktop, default, even video size, no layers, icons of that. And that's how you, and then you click on the create from template after you choosing from here. Just click on it. Oh, okay. There's some error. Oh, so I'll just open this again. Again, click new from template, and then let's do a business card, and then click from template, and it will create a new from template. And then we have the template here. Oh, and this is what we called a canvas. So the border around it is a canvas. Since Inkscape don't want the users to limit their workspace, they just added the white outside page. But if you want to export, which we'll cover in the next video, you just put the items inside this blank border so that it will be the size you want for when it comes to exporting. Yeah. So that is it for today's lesson on how to create a new document on Inkscape. Thank you. Hello, welcome back to Multimedia and Graphic Designing course. In our previous lesson, we learned on how to create a new document on Inkscape, as well as the interface of Inkscape. And today's lesson, we will learn on how to import images to Inkscape. So what you want to do is, firstly, you open your Inkscape, click on the Inkscape button, the icon, and then it should open Inkscape. And after you load Inkscape, you go to Google first. You search up for a picture. I'll choose this one first, and then I will save image as. Then I'll just name it Panda. Okay, and then here, after you find your image, you want to go to File, click on Import, and then click on the picture you just saved just now. So for me, it was the panda. Then click Open, then Embed from File, and then OK. Now this is how you import. One way to import an image to Inkscape. So if you want to resize the image, you can press Ctrl and then with your mouse and then just drag it like this. If you hold Ctrl while doing this, it will make the image size equal. But if you don't press Ctrl and you just move around, the picture can get distorted like this. It can get squashed. Yeah. So I'll just do it again. So to import an image, you go to File, click on Import, and then click on the image that you have. Make sure it's in JPEG format or PNG. Then click on OK. And here you go. Then you can press Control to move, and then not Control. Yeah. Then you can hold Control again, and okay. And another way to import images is that you can go back to Google and then find an image that you want. So I think this is really cute. So I will choose this image. So what you'll do is right click on your mouse, right click and then click on copy image. So that will copy the image, and then in here all you need to do is paste. So you go to edit and then you click on paste. That should paste the image to the canvas. Then you can resize it as well, holding control. And that is another way on how to import pictures to Inkscape. You can also import other things, like these are all the things that you can import to Inkscape. You can check it and then try it out yourself. Okay, so for now, this is it on how to import images to Inkscape. Thank you. Hello and welcome back to Multimedia and Graphic Designing course. In our previous lesson, we learned on how to import images to Inkscape. And now we'll learn on how to save and export the file. So what you want to do first is open up your Inkscape file. And then what you want to do is go to File and then click on Save. Then this should show up. Make sure it's an Inkscape SVG format. So for this, I'll just name it as uh, panda. Okay, so that's how you save as SVG file. I mean Inkscape file. Now to export, you can do is go to File and click on Export PNG Image. You click on that, and then on your right side on your command bar, this should appear. Export PNG image. So by default, it will select drawing. But if you want to export different selections, you can. So for the first one is page. So as we discussed before in the first lesson, page is the canvas, which is anything inside the border here. So it will, if you click on export page, it will only export inside the page, not outside. So this extra bits here, it will get cut off. So I'll just save it as a demonstration. Then you click on export as, and then these are the files that you can save as. So I'll just choose PNG, then name it page. Then as you can see here, it only exported what's inside the border, the canvas. So that's the page. Next, we have the drawing. Drawing is everything. It doesn't matter if it's inside or outside the page. It will export the whole thing that's available. So if you just click on export, then I'll name it drawing. Okay, so now let's see. So you click on drawing, it exported everything, even though it's some parts are outside the canvas. Yeah. So next we have the selections. Selection is when you select something, it will automatically select this tab. And then if you want to select more than one picture or an object, all you can do is press shift, hold down shift on your keyboard and click on it. And that's how you select two or more images or like objects. Okay, so and then you can just export as, name it a selection. Okay, and there you go, it selects everything. But why is this not? Oh yeah, because I did not select the the poo, and this needs to be away from the canvas. Let's try again. So select this too, export selection to. There you go. Or if you don't want this here, for example, like this, all you can do is batch export to selected. So when you click on this, it will just select this both. Or you can click hide all except selected, so it will hide the picture that's not selected. And you can see here the image size. You can resize the image depending on what you want, like the frame and width and height. This also you can play around. And custom is also the same. You just insert a custom number on it and you can export however you want. And that is it on how to export and save on Inkscape. Thank you. Hello and welcome back to Multimedia and Graphic Designing course. In our previous class, we learned on how to save and export files on Inkscape, and for today's lesson, I'll show you how to use the toolbox over here on your left side. So the first we have the select tool. So this is the most tool that you'll use on Inkscape. So you can act right now. The cubes right now are deactivated. So when you click on it, it's activated. So you can move around a single or also multiple objects at once by holding shift on your keyboard. So you hold shift and click on the other cubes at the same time. Then you can move it and then release shift and then you can just move it like this. So hold on shift and then click on this and click on one cube and then the other cube and then release your shift on your keyboard and you can move around like this. The select tool, you can also resize the square however you want. You can also press Ctrl to resize it perfectly so that the X and Y won't change much. So you just resize it nice and equal. And then you can also, if you click one time on the cube, you can see this arrows. It has like a arc in there, whereas this one is like just straight. So this is called the rotating. So you can transform, like rotating like this. You can rotate the cube, and then also just this thing where you can change the property, make it like a parallelogram. Yeah. Next we have the edit path by nodes. Right now, as you can see, this has only 3 points, and a node, when it's the path, it should have 4 points. So what you want to do is go to path and click on Object to Path so that it will transform the cube object to a path so you can do some alterations. So the Edit Path tool, it allows you to alter properties of vector objects relative to its coordinates on the x and y axis. Editable properties include nodes. This diamond is called nodes and lines. So you can highlight like this and then press on this insert new nodes to insert a node in between. So you can make a house and like this, that. And then you can also click on explore this to just select the node, and then it will disappear. The nodes in the middle will disappear, and it will change the middle line into a softer curve. So it will change from a sharp line to a curve. And you can see there's so many nodes that you can try on. Make sure to try it on your free times, and then for this tutorial just select 2 nodes and then click on the make selected nodes corner, or is it this one, to make it back to corner shape. Yeah, then this one to make it round, and that's how you play with nodes. Next we have the square and rectangle tools. So the tool is used to create a four-sided vector objects. As you can see here, it can be a square or a rectangle as long as it's four-sided. The tool allows to like create rectangles with like a perfect right angle corners here, sharp right corners. And then okay, so this is selected. So as you can see here, now it's back to an object. So there's 3 nodes here, just 2 squares to resize. Oh, sorry. Click on it again. Resize, and then this corner is to make the sharp corner rounded. So if I just play along with it, it's gonna get rounded. And to go back to a sharp corner, you can either go back to the top, or you just click on this make button here, make corner sharp. You click on it and it will go back to sharp. Just delete, oh, sorry. Delete this first, then clear the canvas. So next we have the circle and ellipsis. So the tool, you can use this tool to make a circle or ellipsis that have like basically anything that has curves. And same as the square, there's 3 nodes here. This is to basically resize how far away from the radius. And then this is if you want to make like a pie chart or something, or a Pac-Man, you can play along with it along this line, this circle node here. You can play with it to create from a empty circle to a full circle, like that. There's also this one where you just, but it has to be a full circle first, and there you go. You can also change the radius size from here also, and that's how you use the circle and ellipse tool. So I'll just delete this for demonstration purposes. Next we have the create stars and polygons. So this tool allows you to like create both stars and polygons. And when you're creating stars, like you'll be able to determine how many number of corners the star have right here, corner, and the ratio between this each star, and also if you want it to have a like rounded corner. And when you create polygons, you'll be also here polygons. This you can also get polygons or stars. So you will also like be able to determine the number of sides, corners, and the rounded if you like. So for example, this polygon, and then if I want to have more corners and rounded, I can just make it like that. But it looks like a pattern now. So, and then from the square here, the same thing. And increase the corners and spark ratio from the radius. But that's too much. Okay. Then if you want the sparkly, the sharp corners to be rounded, you can click on this. And that's how you use the create stars and polygons. Now just delete this. Next we have the 3D boxes. So the 3D box allow you to like create quickly create a three-sided, as you can see, three-sided vector box as if they appear like a three-dimensional. There's the X and Y, and Z axis, and you can adjust it independently in order to determine the width of the box, like the width, height, and depth. So you can just play around. Um, Play around, as you can see, like that. You can change how the box should appear on your screen, volume also. Yeah, something like that. Okay. Next we have, I'll just delete that. And so next we have the spiral tool. So the spiral tool is used to create vector path that follows in a spiral uh, trajectory. The tool allows you to adjust the number of turns the spiral has, and as well as like the divergence from the center point. So you can change it from here, number of turns, how many turns you want it to have, the divergence like away or away from the radius, as you can see here. I mean from the center points, and then there's the inner radius where you want the spiral to start from. Yeah, you can play around and see. Next we have the Bezier pen tool. So it is used to create vector path by creating a series number of individual points. The points are called nodes. The path can have like straight edges or curve. That you can change the nodes here. Regular, like spiral, could be spline path. Depends. And you can also use the edit by node path to edit the nodes in the path that you made just now, that you have created. Yeah. Mm. And this is called a handler. You can just move it according to your adjustments. I'll keep this aside. So next we have the free draw freehand lines. So this tool is also used to create to draw vector path that follows the trajectory of your hand movement. So unlike the Bezier path where you just click on points, this one you just draw freehandly. You use your hand. So there you go. It follows the movement of your hand, basically. And when you click on the edit path by nodes, you can see all the points here. When compared to the Bezier path, there's only like a few points because they are predetermined, but in here it's free-handed, so there are no calculations, so it's just freehand style. I'll just delete this first so I can clear the space. Next we have the calligraphic style here. So you can choose the brush depending on what you want. There's a dip pen, marker, brush, wiggly, splotch tracing. So I'll just choose this first. And you can use calligraphy. If you know calligraphy, you can use this to write or draw, maybe something like that. Let's delete this first. Right, next we have the gradient tool. So for this demonstration, I'll just draw a circle. Oh, there you go. I'll draw a circle. And then with this, you click on the middle. And this square is the middle part of your gradient. And then this node, the handler here, you can adjust the gradient from there. There is a linear gradient, a radial, and also gradient fill. If I choose this, it will look something like this. Just play around also. Yeah. So next we have the create and edit meshes. So what does this do is that it gives the vector objects a gradient that follows a grid, like the mesh, like the shape of it. So if you click on it, you see the line out here. It's inside the mesh. So when you click on these nodes, the circle object here, you cannot go outside, but you can like go inside, and it will follow the gradient will follow inside the mesh. Can you see like that? And you have a really nice drawing here. Not a drawing, like a shape with gradient. Next we have the color, pick colors from image. So let's use our knowledge from the previous class. So we go to file, let's import a image. So we go to file, click on import. Then for this I'll just use this image for now. And then click OK. And I'll resize it so you can see. So we will use this image to pick a color, and then I'll create multiple objects here. And while using the color picker tool here, you select a color and it should change the color. Then again, you can change it like that, and then you press the select tool, click on that, and then go back to the color picker and then select the color that you want. Same thing, you use the select tool, click on the activate the circle, and then use the color picker tool, then change the color. And that's how you pick a color from a picture. Next, we have the fill bounded areas. So this is used to fill the in-between areas. So, for example, if I create a circle, a square, not square, we'll just quickly change the color from the color palette down here. Maybe yellow, yeah. Change it. It should be. Make sure it overlaps so that you can use the color. So I'll use the color red maybe, and then fill it in. And it fills. You cannot color outside. It needs to, the objects need to be touching each other, or else it won't work. See, if I click outside, it doesn't work. Yeah, just delete this. Next, we have the tweaking or the tweaking object. So you can tweak an object. For example, I'll just draw a star with 5 sides first, and then I'll just duplicate like using Control C and Control V. Okay, so when you tweak an object, you should be able to tweak them however you want. Like, for example, if I do like this, it should move away from the object. Not sure why this is not working well. There's different modes here. There's move in any direction, move towards cursor. So it will move towards the cursor. Not sure. It should work. But you get it. So it's like moving towards the cursor. Then here is the move it in a random direction. Then here is you can shrink. Hold on your left mouse and then just drag it down and then shrink. Or this one is also to rotate object. So you can rotate as well. And then here is duplicating. So why is it not duplicating? In duplicating, you need to Control V and Control C and Control V. So this is push path, as you can see here. It's quickly lines, and then this is to shrink. Oh, and if you hover over, you can see the description on what you can do. So inset is to shrink and outside is to grow. So like this shrink, then when I press shift on this, it will grow. Then I release shift on my keyboard, it will shrink again. Next is the attract path towards cursor. So I think we did this, yeah, we did this one. And this roughen the part, so it will roughen the path here. As you can see, it's like zigzag lines. It's not clear, but it's zigzag lines. You can also change the force and the width of the brush. 20, for example. The default will be like 10. So let's pick 20. So you can see how you can roughen the edges. Yeah. Next is the paint color. So for this one, it will paint it from all the color that's available. Like if you wanted, for example, here, orange, it will change the color from the dark color and then slowly brighten it up to the desired color that you pick right here. And then this is to jitter the colors. So it will change the colors. Maybe if I can click on this also. Then you click the tweaking. Will it work? Oh yeah. Oh okay. So you need to hold shift and click on the objects so that you can tweak it all together. Like that, yes. Okay. And then this one is to blur out the object. And that's for tweaking. So next we have the spray object here. So the spray object tool allows you to generate vector objects by spraying onto the canvas itself. So I want to choose this. So I use the select tool, click on the object to activate, then use the spray tool, and then it will do a spraying effect. You can choose, you can adjust like the modes, initial clone, so single path, and then you can also delete spray, the width, amount, scale, scattered, focus, you can change that all. And then next we have the erase existing path, which is basically just the erase tool. So that, let me zoom in. So do this on the, because I did this on a object that was supposed to be on a spray path, so it will delete everything. But if you erase something from here, it doesn't work because this is still an object. So what you need to do is go to path, object to path, so that you can delete the path, the circle. And that's how you delete. Make sure it's in path. And if you want to know how to check if it's a path of an object, path have so many lines. You just click on the nodes, and then you'll know, you can tell if the nodes looks like this, it is a path already. Yeah. Next we have it's called the diagram connector. So what it does is you can make diagrams with it. Or just like this. Imagine this is a diagram. So you can connect, like make a line and connect it like that. And it will create a line for you to connect. And in this button here, the arrow button here, if you click on it, there's a zoom in measure. So to zoom in, you can press this. Then to zoom out, press that. Or you can use right here to zoom in and zoom out on your right side here, bottom right side corner. Or you can just press Control, hold Control on your keyboard and use the mouse wheel to scroll in, scroll out. Yeah. And then the last one is measure. So here you can measure uh, like uh, the width, the radius, and the height of the circle, for example, or maybe this image. You can measure how long it is, and then you can also find out the arc between that. You can measure an image, and then you can make sure it's you can also change the units here: centimeters, inches, pt, pc, millimeters, pixels. And if you think the font size is too big, you can always increase it in here. And that is it for today's lesson. I hope you understand. If not, it's okay, don't worry, because we will have tutorials about this later on. Thank you. Hello and welcome back to Multimedia and Graphic Designing course. In previous lesson, we learned about the 21 tools that are available on Inkscape. And for today's lesson, we'll learn more tools that will help us during our tutorial works. So first of all, we have the fill and stroke. So I'll just draw a rectangle. You'll need to draw a shape. It can be rectangle, square, star, polygon, doesn't matter. Just try to draw something, a shape, preferably, yeah. And then to get the fill and stroke option in here in the command bar, or as known as the style dialog. So you want to go to object on your menu here and then click on fill and stroke, and then it should show up like this. Here you can adjust the fill, the colors, stroke color, and then the stroke style as well. And then you can also adjust the blurriness of the object, of the whole object, and then the opacity as well. So yeah, something like that. You can change color from here, from the color panel, for easy, like a shortcut. Just in case you want to change something, you can also use the fill and stroke panel here. So first we have the no paint. If we click this, which means the filling inside here, inside the border, will not have any color. And then the second is the flat color. Flat color, you get a flat solid color. That's it. And then the linear gradient is linear. Then radial shows on a circle, like circular motion. And then the mesh gradient, pattern, and swatch fill. So for the flat color, there's RGB, which offers like four sliders, like red, green, blue, and alpha. So you can like change according percentage. Alpha is the transparency, like opacity. Yeah, and then we have the HSL, which offer also four slider, which is hue, saturation, lightness, and alpha. So lightness, if it's here, it's darker, and then lighter, saturation, then the hue. Then HSV, also four sliders. There's the same thing, hue, saturation, and then here this is a value. I think the value, the greater the value, the lighter the color gets. Then alpha. Then we have CMYK, sorry, which stands for cyan, magenta, yellow. K stands for black, and alpha. So you can adjust like that. Next we have the color wheel, which is very helpful and easy to use. So you can just slide, pick a color, and then you just slide. If you want it darker, lighter, depends. There's alpha at bottom here. And then last is the CMS. It allows like a selection of color profile and offers like just only alpha here. Yeah, yeah. So next is the stroke paint. So same like as in fill, there's flat, which is no paint, which means there's no border, like no stroke, and then there's a flat color. You can choose. And then there's the linear, radial, mesh, pattern, and swatch. And then for the stroke style, you can see if you zoom in, hold on control and on your mouse scroll, you just scroll in, mouse wheel I mean. You can see right now the joint is rounded. So you can change it to like sharp and then, or maybe like this, then round, and you also adjust the width of the stroke if you want thick or thin, dashes, something like that, like the style. This is basically the order if you want it to be fill first, stroke in the markers, stroke fill. You can hover around and see. Cap is just the how the outline will look like. Okay, next we'll move on to clipping and masking. So we'll just delete this. Press delete on your keyboard. Make sure the cube was selected and then you just delete. Press delete on your keyboard. So clipping and masking, the clipping functions on Inkscape, it allows an object or like groups of objects to be clipped together so that like only parts of the elements are visible. Clipping can be applied to any object including like groups, layers, bitmaps. So first we can make something. I will show a demonstration so you can understand better. So I'll just draw a square and then a circle with different colors. Oh, okay. Circle with different color and stroke also. Okay, I'll do this later. Stroke. Oh, I forgot I can change it from here. Yeah, like that. Put it maybe something like this. And then I'll make a polygon. I think this is alright. And then I'll just change the color, maybe to yellow. Oh, that's the stroke color. I'll just change it to yellow like that. Then I'll put it like this. Example. So now you want to select everything, and then you go to Object, and then go down and say Clip. You press on Set, and then this will be the result. It'll look like this. But then to release it, you can just go to Object, Clip, and then Release. Maybe I'll delete this first. I'll create another. I'll put this on top. I'll make it look like this. Then I select them all and then just go to Object, Clip, and Set. So it'll be inside the square. Make sure the square is on top so everything will be inside the square. And then it will just cut out the remaining pieces. Then to do that, to undo, you just go to Clip and set Release. Oh, make sure you select it. Object, Clip, and Release. Yeah. And that is how you clip something. Maybe I will show another example. So with a picture, for example, you go to File. Remember to import, you go to File and Import. And then you want to go to, okay, I'll just this one. Then press OK. Let's say I want like a part of this to be on a in a circle. So I can just make a circle on top, like that, on top of the layer, on top of the mountain picture, and then just select them both. Press shift on them, and then click to select both, and then you go to object, clip, and set. So then it will be inside the circle. And that is it on clipping. And now the masking part, unlike clip path, like masking allows an object or like a group of objects to like be visual cropped. The difference is that mask is black or transparent area become fully transparent in the mask object, and then the mask opaque area becomes fully opaque. And this basically like allows you to apply for like a transparency gradients to object kind of thing. I'll just show you examples. So uh, I'll just draw a rectangle and then a circle. I'll just make it, I think this color should be alright. Then I'll just resize it like that. Then I go highlight to select them both. You can highlight, and then you go to object, mask, set. So it will like be a combination of the two objects. So I'll do it again. This time maybe circle in the bottom, and then the square on top, like that. Orange, then select them both, or just press shift and click on the rectangle, mask, set, and it goes like this. And to release it, you just go to object, mask, and release. That's it. Next, we will look at the align and distribute tool. So to find it, you can find it in here in the command tool here. So you click on align and distribute objects, and it will show in the style dialog. You can change the relative to from last selected, first selected, biggest object, smallest object, page, drawing, selection area. I suggest you do the last selected. We'll just select it from the last preview, from the very back layer, very back level. And then for this example, align and distribution, basically like you can move multiple selected objects to the like same axis and distributes them like equally into a selected object. And then yeah, there is so many options here. You can see this will, you can hover over them and you can see like around right. If we just select them both, just shift click, then it will be in this like that. The middle, you can see the outline, and then this attach like that. Since I selected square, so it will make the square as the last selected. That baseline, okay. So this is that, like that. You can play around and see. And there's distributes. I think this works when there's like more than one object. So maybe I'll just do like that. You can play around and see. Then rearrange it. Then this is exchanging positions and back to it, stacking order, clockwise rotation, both directions. Yeah, something like that. And this is just removing the overlapping. As you can see, this is overlapping now. So just remove it. Next, we have the history settings. This is very important when it comes to graphic designing. So you want to just click on, go to edit and then click on undo history. And then the history will show up here. It will show everything that you did, like undo and whatever you click on, like every single move, it will be recorded there. To undo, you can just press Ctrl Z on your keyboard, Ctrl and then press Z, Ctrl Z. Then it will just move to the last position. As you can see, it keeps going up. If you want to go back to this, for example, this particular history, you can just click on it and it will go back. Then you can go back here. You can like see the history of what you did in from the beginning of the canvas. Like me, I just did the rectangle in the beginning. Then I can also move it to the end where this is. So that is it for today's lesson. I'll see you in the next video. Thank you. Hello and welcome back to Multimedia and Graphic Design course. In our previous lesson, we learned more tools such as the history settings, clipping and masking, align and distribution, as well as the fill and stroke. And for today's lesson, then we'll learn more about the objects, how to group them, layer, and how to select them as well. So first, I'll show you how to group an object. First, you need to create a shape. We'll start with a square and a circle. Go to your select tool, click on it, you can adjust. You can change color to make it look pretty. Maybe green. Oh, that's too bright. I think this is okay. Now to group them together, you need to click on one shape or an object and then you press shift and then click on the other. Now from here you can go to your command bar, which is on top here. You can click on this one, group selected objects, to group them together so that they'll become one object. And then to ungroup them, you can click ungroup selected group. And that's how you ungroup and select and group. You can also group them from here. Go to object, click on group. That'll do the same thing. And also to ungroup, go to object and ungroup. And that's it for grouping and ungrouping. Next, we'll talk about the layer, the levelings. So when it comes to leveling, the first one that you created will always be at the bottom, and the new one will be always on top of each other. So if I put this on top, it will show that the square is below the circle. And then there's a way to change this. Here we have the leveling tool here. So the first one we have raise to the top. So it means it'll raise from any position to the very top. Like that. Maybe this is and then for this one is lower. So it will make from the top to the very bottom. I'll just create more shapes to demonstrate. Color it differently so you can see the difference. And in order to know what level your shape is, you can stack them like this in a zigzag. So one to the left, one to the right, and one to the left, and so on. Now, if we put them on top of each other like this, you can see that the orange circle is on top of the green. This is because we created the orange circle after the green circle. And then for the pentagon here, the polygon here, uh, it is on top since we created it after these three shapes. So that's why on top. And in order to change the sequence of order, you can click on the object and then, for example, the square. If you want it to be on top of all of them, you press the right selection to top. So it will go on top. And then for the bottom, to the very bottom, you press the lower selection to bottom here. And then if you wanted to just go above one step, which is just above this green circle, click on it, and you click on this one, raise selection one step. So it'll just go a step below the green circle. And if you want it to go up a step below, you can click on the lower selection one step, and that will go back to the bottom. Same thing for this. If I just want to go lower one step, I just click on this, and it will automatically go below the orange circle only. And then if I just press to the lower selection to bottom, it will go to the very back, which is behind the orange square. And to know if it's at the back, you can just stack them like this in zigzag order, and you can see that the polygon is below the square. And that's it for leveling. Next is the selections. Now to select an object, you will need to have the select tool activated. So you click on the shape or object here. Click on it. Click on the circle shape, and that's how you move. And that's how you select the object, and you can move it around, resize it as well, like that. And then just click one time on the shape. You can rotate and also change like shear shape. And to select more than one object, you can hold on shift. So click on one object first, hold on shift on your keyboard, and click. If you want to click more on, if you want to click on more objects, you can hold on shift again and then just click on the third item. So like that. And that's how you select an object. Oh, and that's it for this lesson, and in the next video, I'll be teaching you about layers. It is similar to level, but it's kind of different, so I'll see you in the next video. Thank you. Hello and welcome back to Multimedia and Graphic Design course. In our previous lesson, we learned about object selection, grouping, and levels. And for today's lesson, in this video, we'll learn more about layers. So, first of all, the layer will be in this dialog over here. So to get this dialog open, let me just close it. So you will need to go to Layer in the menu tab and then click on Layers. And this should show up on your right hand side. So this is layer 1 right now. And then you can add layers. You can also change the layer name, high for example, and then you can change the position here. You want it above or below the layer 1 or as a sub layer. So if I do above, it will be on top of layer 1. And then I can add another layer, then high again, high 2 for example, and I want it below. So if I add it below, it'll be below high. And then if I click create a new layer here, then sub layer, and then I just choose the sub layer of current, click on it, and click on add. It'll be under high 2. This is because sub layer here is grouped with high number 2, high 2 here. So they are one group layer. Then you can delete the current layer, so it will delete the inside, or you can add more layer, rename the layer, show hide other layers, show all layers, hide all layers, lock and unlock, lock all layers, unlock all layers. So to hide the layer, you see this eye icon, you can click on it to hide. Okay, for example, I'll just draw a circle in here, and then in another layer, for example, in hide 2, maybe I'll do another circle. Let's change the color to blue, for example. And then I want to hide layer 1, the orange circle. So all I can do is just click on the eye icon to hide it, so that it won't be getting on the way. Then to unhide, you can click on the eye icon again. And when you want to select and move, you can hold on your left click and then just drag until you see this, and then it will move everything that's selected. Or you can just click on an object and then press shift and click on other object. But if you don't want to move the orange circle, for example, you need to lock the layer here. You see this lock icon? You click on it to lock the layer. And then you are unable to do any changes to this layer since it is locked until you unlock it. If the layer 1 is locked, which is the orange circle, I can only move and do changes on the blue circle. You can also change the blur and opacity of the layer, like that. And then there's a blend mode down here. There's normal, multiply, screen, darken, overlay, dodge, color, burn, hard light, soft light, difference, exclusion, hue, saturation and color, and luminosity. You can also bring the layer, like the levels that we discussed in the last video. We can raise the current layer to the top, so it will be at the top, and then you can bring it one step below, so it'll be here, and the last one is layer, move it to the bottom, so which is at the very bottom, or you can just raise one step above, so it'll go back to above layer 1. You can also delete the current layer using this icon. For example, delete. And you can also delete it while right clicking on the layer name and then just delete. And you can also duplicate. Then, for example, I'll unlock this layer and change the circle color. So as you can see, then the eye icon to hide and unhide. Lock. That is it for this video. Thank you. Hello, welcome back to Multimedia and Graphics Design course. In our previous lesson, we learned about layers. And in this video, you'll learn about what is the difference between path and an object. So, a path is basically a sequence of straight line segments or Bezier curves in which they have the fill and stroke properties, but unlike a shape, which is an object, a path can be edited by freely dragging any of its nodes. So, I'll show you a demonstration. If we use the Bezier of freehand lines, for example, I'll just do like a Pac-Man. This is a very bad Pac-Man. Okay, so I can alter its properties like the fill and stroke. Now, if you remember from our previous videos, you can get the fill and stroke from object and then fill and stroke. Then you can fill it. I want to fill it orange, okay, and then the stroke black, okay, and then the stroke style I want to make it thick so it looks like a Pac-Man. So I'll increase the stroke size so it looks something like this. And how can you tell if it's a path or a object? You can click on the edit path by nodes and you can see all these nodes around the outlining the shape. And then you can edit the nodes, but this is really inconvenient because there are lots of nodes. So I suggest you do it with the Bezier tool. If I just undo with Ctrl Z, just keep undoing, then we will get back to our original drawing. Then with the Bezier tool, I'll draw the same thing. That. This is really hard to draw without a reference picture. Then I'll also fill it in using the fill here. I'll fill it in maybe a really nice yellow color. And then I will go to stroke style since there's already a stroke. I'll increase the stroke size. As you can see the difference, using the Bezier tool, the outline here is very smooth, whereas with the freehand it's very not smooth. There's like bumps here. That is the difference between the Bezier and the freehand tool. And these both are objects, path. You can tell by going to the edit path by nodes and you click on it and you can see all these nodes, but it's just not much because we did only like several points, which makes it easier for us to draw. Then you can just click on the nodes, one node, and then you can just edit it. using the handler tool here. Make it curve here, curvy, to make it curvy. And you can also, if this one doesn't have a handler, for example, you can click this to make it appear. Yeah, like this. It is much better than the previous one drawing here because there are less nodes than it is here. And you can tell it is a path because of the square nodes. Yeah. Now, an object are basically like any shapes that make up your overall drawing. It can be a text, path, or shape basically that you just create. Everything that you create is basically an object. So right now this is also an object. Even pictures, even shapes. So if I use the circle ellipse tool, we can tell this is an object because when we click on edit, and it's not a path because when we click edit on path node, there's only 3, and you can see the nodes are different color. This is gray, whereas an object have white color, and then there's two squares here and one circle. And if I want to make a Pac-Man, all I need to do is just drag the circle node and just rotate clockwise. And there you go, a Pac-Man. And then you can manually add the stroke paint since there is no stroke paint at the moment. So I just go click stroke paint and then click on the flat color, and yeah. And I should make it thicker. Go to stroke style and make it thicker. And this is an object because it is an object since the lines are predetermined using mathematical equations to give it a smooth curve, and it looks neat. And if you want to convert an object to path, all you need to do is go to path and then object to path. Then it will change it to a path. You can see now if you click the edit path by nodes, you can see the nodes change into gray color. This means it's a path. Then you can change it, change the size, not size, the object shape using the handlers by playing with the nodes. And I'm making a mushroom. Okay, and that is how you can tell a difference between a path and an object. Oh, text can be an object too. So if you go, text are objects. So if you go to create text here using the text tool, for example, or just type hello, and then to change the font size and everything, you can. It's above here in the shortcut tool. In the tool control bar, where you can just highlight the text and then change the text here. Or you can go to the command bar above the toolbar control. You can click on it, and then it will show the text and font on the right side, and you can change the the font. So maybe I want it arcade. It will look like this. Oh, this one looks nice. So I'll just click and apply, and it will apply it here. And you can change the, usually if, let me find a better example, maybe this. Okay, maybe just normal Arial. So for example, there's normal, there's italic, bold, italic, and heavy. So really, this depends on the text that you have downloaded on your PC. Some may have this, some may not. So like for example, the just now the other text, I think was it airstrike, did not have anything. It's just normal. Yeah, and you can change the size of the text in here to make it big or smaller depending on your what you need. Then go back to the text here. This is the, you can hover, so this is like the baseline. This is spacing between the baseline. Let's just play around with it and see. Huh, nothing happening. So I guess you can just ignore that. And then this is the lines, centimeters, inches, the units basically. Then this is the adjustments if you want it to be on the left align, center, right, and then equal. Yeah. Then here you can toggle over again and then just see what is it for. So this is spacing between the letters. We'll just space out between each letter. Then this is between the words. If you have more words, for example, hello world. Then it should space out between both of them. As you can see, the word world is getting further away from the hello. Then this one is horizontal kerning. You can highlight it and it will move. Then vertical kerning, see up and down. Then character rotation, it will rotate each letter. And this is block position. It will just block like that. Let me just zoom out. When it's vertical, this is like that, and same thing. And this is this all. This is not available right now. I think this is because of a translation text glyph. Then this is if you want this to write the text direction. This is, for example, it is left to right, and then if you want it to from right to left, so it will. This is suitable for like Arabic because they write from right to left. And that is it on the difference. This is a path. This is an object, as you can tell, because there's a square and a triangle, and it's white color. And you can convert this to path by going to path, object to path. And then when you click on edit by notes, you can see there's a red highlighted on each letter, and you can see all the nodes, and that is a path. So that is it on the difference between an object and a path. Thank you. Hello and welcome back to Multimedia and Graphic Design course. In our previous lesson, we learned about what is the difference between a path and an object. In this video, we will cover about the Boolean operations. Now, to find those Boolean operations, you go to your menu bar on top of your Inkscape, and then you go to path, click on it, and under path you can see the Boolean operations here. There's union, difference, intersections, exclusion, division, and cut path. So first, let's start with the union. So union is basically everything, and you combine two objects or more than two objects and combine them together. So let me demonstrate you. So we'll start with a shape. I'll start with a circle shape. Hold Control on your keyboard and then just drag to make a perfect circle. Then I'll just copy paste. So Control C on your keyboard and Control V to copy paste. Or you can just click on it and then go to edit and copy and then paste. So I'll put it like this, and then I'll make a rectangle in between. So it'll look something like this. So since this is union, it will combine everything to make it one object. So hold your left mouse and then just drag, or click on one object and then press shift and click on the other objects like that while holding shift. So you go to path and click on union. As you can see here, it combined the three objects into one to make this like a bone shape, and that's union. Next we have is difference. So difference is basically subtracting one path from another. So let's say I wanna make this left side to be like a moon shape. So what I can do is click on the circle again and make sure I'll change the color so you can see. So by holding Control, I do like this. Then using the select tool, I place it on top of the other object. And then difference, it should subtract this part so that you will get a moon shape. So let's do it. Place on top, press shift and click on the other object, go to path and click on difference. As you can see here, it subtracted, it removed this part that was touching the yellow. So you get something like this. Next, we have the intersection. So intersections, basically, you you only keep the part that is in touching each other, so intersecting. For example, I want maybe a star shape. Control. Okay, maybe not. Let's choose an easier shape. Okay, I'll choose a square. And then I'll put like at the end here. So as usual, you click on the select tool and then don't forget to hold your shift button on your keyboard. Click on the other object and then go to path and click on intersection. Then you should keep the intersect part, so it will only show something like this. Then I'm just gonna Control Z to undo. So it will go back to this object. So maybe I'll just do like this. Put the rectangle on top, click on the other object, go to path and intersect. So as you can see, it basically keeps the one that's is touching the square, the rectangle, so the intersecting part, and whatever is outside that's not touching or overlapping, it will be removed. Next, we have the exclusion. So you like intersection, but you remove the part that's intersecting. So let's do with the rectangle. Take a rectangle shape tool and then just draw like this. Let's make a plus shape in the middle. So hold on shift and click on the other object, go to path and then click exclusion. As you can see, it removes the part that is intersecting. So and then combine the second object into one. So it looks something like this. Next we have the path. Next we have the division. So the division is basically cutting the path that's not touching and then make it into uh another shape. So for example, I'll just put like a circle shape again, like this. Let me just move this shape over here, and then Control C and Control V to duplicate. And then I want it to be in a yellow color so you can see the difference. And then I just put it like this on top of each other as usual. Then press on shift, hold shift on your keyboard and then go to path and then click on division. Then it should remove the other circle and then you can move this part also like that. So it looks something like this. Last we have the cut path, and this only works if you have stroke. So for example, let's take a circle. Make sure there's a path. So just draw a circle first. And on your right side, you can see on your fill and stroke, if you remember correctly from our previous class, you can go to object and then fill and stroke so that this panel will appear on your right side. And you want to go to stroke paint and click on flat color. And then go to stroke style and increase the thickness of the stroke. So maybe a 10 will be, no, that is too thick. So maybe a 5. Okay, that looks fine. And let's resize this by holding on control for it to resize equally. And then I'm just gonna copy and paste. So Control C and Control V on your keyboard to copy paste. I'll change color so that it'll be an orange. And then I'll put it on top. And hold on shift on your keyboard so that I will select both objects. And then go to path and click on cut path. As you can see, it only keep the outline, not the filling. And after that, you can move the path. So basically, you cutting out the stroke fill, the stroke paint, I mean. And that is it for today's lesson on Boolean operation. Thank you. Hello and welcome back to Multimedia and Graphic Designing course. In our previous lesson, we learned about Boolean operations and how they work. In this lesson, we'll split it into two sections, Part A and Part B. Part A will be tracing the bitmap, and the Part B will be tracing to pixel art. So start off, we can go to your web browser first. Go to Google and type in any character that you want. For example, I'll choose SpongeBob maybe. SpongeBob. Okay. SpongeBob characters. And then you go to image. Go to images and search the character that you want to trace. So for this tutorial, I'll use maybe Sandy. After you find your picture, you want to right click on the picture and click on Save Image As. And then make sure it's in your desktop. Save in your desktop so it's easier to access. So make sure the picture is saved as JPEG, PNG, or bitmap file, so you can open it, so you can import it on Inkscape. Just name it Sandy. Oops, Sandy. Okay, there we go. Save. After you finish downloading, you want to go back to Inkscape, and then you want to import the image onto Inkscape. So to import, we'll go to File, and then scroll, and then go to Import. Then find the image file on your desktop. So for me, it was Sandy. I'll click on Open, then just click OK, and then we have Sandy here. Next, we will need to trace her into a bitmap. So right now it's just a normal picture. So to trace her, we will need to go to Object, or is it? We will go to Path in your menu bar here on top. Go to Path and click on Trace to Bitmap. And then on your right side, this panel should appear. So there's Trace to Bitmap. So there's a single scan and multiple scan. Single scan will just create one single outline, while multiple scans will have layers, different layers, depending on how many scans you want it to be. So single scan. Brightness cutoff is the most frequent use mode. It will create like a silhouette path that follows the shape of the image. And then there's edge detection. It is useful if you want to like factorize the contours of the shape. Then there is color quantization, and this trace along the borders between like different colors. After you play around with the modes, I'll use auto trace, and then it should trace along the lines. So click on update. Don't forget to click on update. Maybe I'll just increase this by a bit. And then click on apply. Make sure the image is selected. Click on update and apply. Then you should see the selection. Since you can see the globe is missing, that means you need to do a multiple scan. So keep this here. Let me zoom it out first. So this is the single scan. Let's go to the multiple scan. You want to choose colors. Remove background, smooth. Stack. Scans is how many layers you want it to be. So I would choose just maybe 8. It's okay. Then don't forget to click on update and click on apply. Make sure the image is selected. Click on apply. And as you can see, it has traced the image with 8 scans. And there's a lot of nodes. and you can tell this is a path because of the square nodes, like we discussed in previous class, in previous videos. And that's how you trace an image to a bitmap. Thank you. Hello and welcome back to Multimedia and Graphic Design course. In our previous lesson, we learned about tracing, and we learned about tracing to bitmaps. In this lesson, we will learn on how to trace to pixel art. So, what you want to do first is go to your web browser, and go to Google, and type in pixel art GIF, or just write cute GIF. Why GIF? Because GIF is very small, and make sure the size is small also, maybe like 50 times 50. You want it to be so small because Inkscape will like hang and then it will crash. It only works in small size. To find out if your size is 50/50, you can look at this. This is 350 by 350. 350 by 350, which means it's 50/50 if you can see by the name. So make sure it's not the size is no more than 350 so that you can trace it to pixel art successfully without the lag. I really like this one, the Fiona. So find your GIF first, GIF file, and then right click on it and click on Save Image As. Make sure it's a GIF format here, GIF image, and then make sure you save it onto your desktop. So go to desktop and save it. I'll name it Fiona, since it's a character from Adventure Time. Okay, so now you want to go to your Inkscape, and then you go to File, click on Import, and then click on the picture, the GIF file, then Open, then just click OK. And then it will put the image, the GIF, onto Inkscape. Next, what you want to do is go to Path and click on the Trace Bitmap so that the panel here on your right side will appear. Okay. In last class, we learned about Trace Bitmap. Now, we will learn about pixel art. So you want to click on that. And then there's two options. There's Voronoi and B-splines. You can test both of them to see how they will turn out. So just try this first. Click on update and then click on apply. You need a lot of patience for this, and don't click on your screen until the image is done processing. This is a common bug in Inkscape when it comes to pixel art, tracing pixel art. So don't worry if your screen is saying not responding, you just have to wait. Okay, to know if your trace is done, the apply button should be the same color as the revert and stop and not dark gray, okay? So now you want to move the picture slowly because it's very laggy. So it takes time and patience. And you need to move it a bit slowly. Then sometimes your screen might not respond again, so you just need to try to move it so you can see the face. And then you can see here, this is the Voronoi trace. If you zoom in, you can see it consists of so many lines and pixels. You can see all the pixels here. Tracing pixel art will make your PC very laggy, so be careful. Next, we will try the B-splines. So click on the original picture here, and then you click on B-splines. Click on update, and then apply. It will take some time. It will take some time, probably a minute for your PC to trace the pixel. But after that, after the apply button is normal again, that means your pixel tracing is done. So you just want to move it down. It will be very laggy because of the amount of pixels. So this is this B-splines one. Let's zoom in, shall we? So press Control and your mouse wheel, and just scroll in. You can see, unlike the Voronoi mode, it is much more clear in terms of the color. It's more vibrant and more closer to the original picture. So that is it for Trace to Pixel Art. Thank you. Welcome back to Multimedia and Graphic Designing course. In our previous lesson, we learned on how to trace an image. And in this video, we'll learn on how to use editing filters. So open up your Inkscape, and then we'll go to your web browser and search for a really nice image to add some filters on. So I'll choose maybe a very nice mountain picture. Go to images and then find the picture that you really like. Maybe I'll choose this one. Okay, this one looks okay. So you want to right click on the picture after you find your picture. Right click, save image as, and make sure it's saved as PNG or JPEG. Then just save it. Let's save it as mountain. Save it. Alright. And then go back to your Inkscape and then go to file. We will import the file. So click on import and then click the mountain. Make sure it's saved onto your desktop and then click the picture. And OK. And then you can see this is a very huge image. You can zoom out and then resize the picture using the scale tool. The select tool. And then use this arrow to just resize the image. Okay. Now to find the editing filters, you'll need to go to your menu bar here, top, and then find filters. And here there's plenty of filters that you can use, but I'll just show some interesting filters that is interesting for me. So first we have the blurs. This is just give the image a blurry effect. So I'll use the normal blur. You can live preview so you can see. It gets blurry. Then you can apply to it so that it will be blurry. And then Control Z to undo. And go back to filters. And then maybe I'll try bevel. And then maybe let's try a neon. And then you can see it gives you like a neon effect. And then Control Z again to undo. So it will go back to the previous state. And then let's go to filter, and then distort is a really nice one. So it basically turns into a really nice explosion, I think. Yes, let's try the chalk and sponge. So it gives you like a spongy effect and like chalk. You can zoom in to see the texture, and then just Control Z to undo again, and then try on different filters that you like. Maybe we just shadow and glows. So cut out glow. It'll look like the image is pop up. Yeah. Then you can Control Z again and to undo, and then you can find more interesting filters. For example, swirl. We'll make it like a water swirl effect. Then Control Z again to undo. Then scatter is a really nice one. So it gives like a scatter. It gives like a scattering effect to it. You can see. This reminds me of mosaic art. So go ahead and try on all of the filters here. Maybe I will show you one last filter. Colors. Texture. Let's see. Maybe a watercolor. So it gives you like a watercolor effect. And to remove the filter, you can Control Z to undo, or you can go to filters and just click on remove filters, and it will remove the filters. Okay, that's it for this video. And in the next video, we'll start with the tutorials. Thank you! Hello and welcome back to Multimedia and Graphic Design course. This will be your first tutorial, and in this tutorial, we will be making a donut. So, open up your Inkscape, and then we will go ahead and choose the circle tool here by holding Control on your keyboard, and just with your left mouse, click and drag to make a perfect circle. Now we will use the select tool and resize it by holding Control and just resize it. After you're done, you want to duplicate this. So I'll duplicate, but this time I'll make it a red color, and then change the opacity to maybe like 70%. So 77 should be fine. And then now we want to make this as so go ahead on your width here and put 175, and then height also 175. Change it to pixel 175 and 175. After you have this, you click on the gray circle and then go to your align and distribution on your command bar, and then click on center vertical axis and horizontal axis here. And then while you have both of them selected, you want to go to Path and then click on Difference. So you'll create a donut shape like this. Now you want to, after you create the hole, you want to duplicate again and then change it to a red color. And then in your fill and stroke panel, you want to bring down the opacity down, maybe around 50. And then we will use an offset method so that you can make it the circle a little bit bigger than the gray circle. So you can go to Path and click on Offset, or you can use your keyboard shortcut while holding Control and press on 0. Now we will press 0 4 times. So hold on Control and press on 0 4 times. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So it will look like something like this. And then we will zoom out. Now create a rectangle and make sure it's half the size of the donut. So just drag and make sure it's like this. It doesn't matter if it's bigger, like you can see. It doesn't matter because we will cut it out anyway. So using the select tool, you want to adjust and make sure it's halfway. Even if it's not halfway, it's okay. As long as it's halfway. And then you want to click on press shift on your keyboard and select the red circle here. And then go to Path and then click on Difference. And then you have your frosting part. Now we will edit the frosting part to make it look like it's a frosting. Right now it's just like a Pokemon. Okay, so we will go to the edit path by nodes. And then as you can see here, these two bottom nodes, we will edit that. Okay, so you see the nodes. Then you want to make sure this part, you click on the middle part and just drag it down like that. Okay, and then using this node here, you want to make sure that the handler here is parallel. So it's like a straight line downwards. And you also do the same with the other side. So you look like something like this. Then for this, I'll just make this a little bit longer by dragging it down. And then what you want to do now is select these two nodes and click on Insert New Nodes 2 times. So you will insert three new nodes here. And then you want to click on the middle one and then you want to drag it up by holding Control and just drag it up. And then we just adjust it. So holding Control. You can adjust the curves to however you like. Okay, I think that is good. So now we will do on the next part, the other half. So we will click on the middle and just drag it downwards. But this time I want to make it a bit longer than this part so that it doesn't look it's the same. Because frosting, both sides don't look really the same. Okay, and then just a bit longer maybe. Okay, that should be fine. And then click on this node and make sure that the handler here is parallel to the line. Same goes with this one. Okay, it should look something like this. And then next step is to drag and select these two nodes, and click on the insert new nodes twice so that you'll get 3 more new nodes. And you want to click on the middle one and then by holding Control and you drag it up. Sorry, this one. Just make sure you have the middle one selected, okay? Just drag it up. That. And then by holding control, and you can adjust the handler. Once that's done, you want to use the select tool and increase the opacity. And then I'll make the frosting chocolate flavor, so brown. A brown color will be nice, and then the donut will be a light orange shade. So this should be fine here on your color palette down here at the bottom. Okay, I think this is fine. Okay, you want to duplicate this frosting color and then give it a darker brown maybe. And then you want to put this just a level below the brown color. So go to your select tool and click on lower selection one step. So it's below the brown color. And then you want to go to your fill and stroke panel and go to stroke pane, click on flat color, then go to stroke style, change the measurement to pixels, and then click and change it to 25, the width, 25. So it'll look something like this. And then make sure the join is rounded and also the cap is rounded. And then what you want to do now is go to path, click on stroke to path, and then click on break apart. Stroke style. And then after that, you want to select your stroke here, and then click on the dropper tool, and then make sure it's the same color as the brown one, except it'll be a bit darker. So go to your fill and stroke and go to fill, and then the alpha 100%, and then the color will be a bit darker, like that. Should be fine. And then next you want to, okay, first we'll change the color of the donut to be white, and then change the opacity to around this much, should be fine, around 30. And then now we want to inset it. You can go to path and click on inset, but since we're going to inset it a lot of time, so we just use the keyboard shortcut, which is Control and 9. So holding Control and click 9 around 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 46, around 46 times. And then you want to duplicate it. So duplicate it. And then click on the brown frosting here, lighter brown, and then duplicate it. And then we want to inset it a few times. So hold on Control and inset it a few times. Maybe like around 10 times is okay. And then what you want to do is click on the brown frosting and then hold shift and click on the lighter part. And you want to click on path intersection. Okay, after that you take this white ring and then you just want to put it a few steps below. So put it 2 times below until you don't see the ring anymore. So now we will make it look like this. Someone has bitten over the donut. So we'll go here to your right side where there's more space and probably red color. And then just hold on control to make a perfect circle. Make sure the opacity is 100 and then there's no stroke. And then just make it like this. Then you duplicate, and then put it on your left side. So it will look like someone has bitten over the donut. So you want to make this a bit bigger and then go to path, select union. So it looks something like that. And then you want to put it somewhere here and then make sure you rotate it. Put it like that. That should be fine. And then you want to duplicate it around 3 times. So duplicate and then maybe a green color. And then turn this toggle snapping to cups node off. So just move it like that. A bit to your right side. Then duplicate again. Change it to a red color. Then move it to your right side a bit. That should be fine. And then now you want to click on the bottom one. On the bottom red color. And then select the donut. And this part can be really tricky, so click on that on the brown color, go to path and then click on difference, and then same way goes with the green. Click on the green one and then click on the brown one here because there's two, and then click on path and then difference, and then here red one. Maybe the brown one will work this time, and it still doesn't work. So you click on the donut. So now click on the red one and then click on the donut part. And then click on difference. Now you can see this part has a problem. So what you want to do is you can delete this part and then you can click on the lighter brown here. And then duplicate it. Change the color to brown color. Make sure there is the nodes, the stroke I mean. Change to brown. Okay. And then you want to put this a level below. Now the donut is finished, except we can add some sprinkles onto the donut. So in order to do that, you go to rectangle tool here and drag. Make sure there is no stroke. So click the no paint under stroke paint and go to fill, and then we can change it to a nice color, maybe blue sprinkles, or find a color that you like. I'll go on with this blue right here. And then you see this circle node, you just round it off so it looks like a rounded rectangle. And then using the select tool, you just need to resize the sprinkles. And once that's done, you zoom out and then click on it. And then you resize and rotate to however you want. Then I'll just duplicate and put it like that. And then duplicate again, but this time I'll change the color to a yellow color. Then duplicate. And you just repeat this process. You also rotate like that. And then you want to duplicate again. Then I'll make a green color. Change the green color like that. I'll rotate this to be like that. Then duplicate again. Duplicate and paste it to however you like. It doesn't need to be similar like mine. So, and now you just want to adjust and move around so that the sprinkles are evenly distributed. And you can maybe change the brown color darker a bit like that. And there you go. Your very own donut. And this is it for tutorial 1 on how to make a donut. Thank you. Hello, welcome back to Multimedia and Graphic Design course. This video is tutorial number 2. In this tutorial, we'll be making a fried egg. I have this reference picture on the left side, as you can see. Now, firstly, we'll start with our color. So to create our color palette, I already searched up the code for the color palette. So firstly, all you need is 8 circles without strokes. So you go to objects, fill and stroke, so that this panel over here will show. And then you want to click your circle shapes here. And then just create a small circle. And then make sure you go to stroke paint and deselect. So no stroke at all. And then what you want to do is just copy, or you can duplicate it 7 more times. So total 8. So I'll just copy and paste, then shift, then copy paste, then shift and click, copy paste. Okay, and now for the colors. So the first color here, we'll go to fill, and then down here it says RGBA. So you want to type in F7C942FF. Then the next color, click on the other circle, and then same thing, go to the RGBA under color wheel here, and then type in F2BA15FF. And then the third color will be FC9710FF. And the fourth color, you typed in F27F0FFF. And then the fifth color will be F2F2F2FF. And then the sixth color will be E6 E6EFF. Okay, so for the seventh color, it'll be 37448FF. It's triple, so 37448FF. And then the last color, it'll be 6FB1CBFF. And then I'm just going to group them together. So by dragging and while clicking on your left mouse, and then it will select all of this. So just make into groups so you can move it around together. And now let's start with the egg. So firstly, we will need a circle shape. So we'll start making a circle by holding your control on your keyboard and just click on it and drag to get the perfect circle. Make sure there is no stroke, because you can see here there is no stroke. So now, sorry, okay, let me just zoom out a bit. Okay. So now we will color it orange. So click on the pick color tool here, color tool, and then click on the fourth circle from the color, the darker orange color. And then now you want to make the ellipse here. So we'll make an ellipse. So you don't need to hold control, just using your left mouse, you just make a ellipse shape. So it'll look something like that, but you want it bigger. So use the select tool and then resize it. And now we will change it to different colors. So using the pick color tool, change it to the third shade of orange. And then go back to the select tool and then click on the circle, the ellipse shape, and then just rotate. After you rotate, make sure it's nice and you are satisfied with the placement. And then I'm just going to resize a bit. Okay, now I will copy and paste. So copy, Control C, Control V. Now I have two of them. So I will resize this to make it a bit smaller, and then use the pick color tool and click on the second orange shade, and then put it on top. And then you can make it smaller if you like. And then copy, Control C, Control V, and then use the pick color tool and pick the first orange yellow shade, and then you resize it to be smaller. And then you just put it on top. So it looks something like this. Next, we'll make the eyes. So to make the eyes is very easy. You'll need a square rectangle shape. So click on the rectangle shape here, rectangle tool, and then I just move the canvas here. Draw a rectangle. Doesn't have to be equal, just a rectangle will do. And then change the color. Use the pick color tool, and you click on the darker shade, the darker blue shade. So you'll get this. And then go back to the rectangle and square tool, and then you see the circle, and then you just move it downwards to make it a rounded rectangle shape. Sorry, I'll just Control Z. Now, you can resize it by holding Control so you don't lose the sizing. So it will resize equally. You put it on the egg, then copy, paste, and then you can use the guides here, the ruler, by just click on it and then drag so you can see. You can see they are aligned. Okay. Alright, so now time to make them out. To make them out is very easy. So you just copy again and paste. And then you make a normal square and then just draw it over. Make sure the corners are not rounded. You can change it to a different shade first. So I'll just choose from the color palette down here for quick access. And then using the select tool, adjust the position of the mouth, how small you want it to be. And then click on the rectangle and then by holding shift and click on the mouth here. Then you go to path and then click on difference so that it will cut out the part that we're intersecting. And now you have the mouth. So I'll put the mouth right here. I'll just zoom out. Make sure it's in the center and hold shift and then we're moving. And then to delete this guideline, you just press delete on your keyboard. Next, we will create the egg whites. So we're done with the face now with the egg whites. So we will use Bezier tool and you'll draw a 5-point star. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it will look something like this. It's alright if it's ugly because we will fix this. So you want to click on the edit path by nodes. So you click on the edit path by nodes. Okay, so you see all these sharp points, you want them to make it smooth. So what you can do is click on one and then you see this modes. You can click on it. So this is corner smooth. We will click on the smooth and you do it for the remaining of the corners. Click on it, click on the second mode here, make it smooth, or you can just select it like that by dragging, then by clicking on the smooth. Once you've done that, we will adjust it to look like it's a frying egg, like it's a fried egg. So just adjust the shape, and also by using the nodes, the handler here, you can adjust how curvy the egg is. Just like that. This is too long, so make it like that. It doesn't have to be perfect, so it's okay if your eggs Doesn't look like mine. Oops. I think this is alright. So now what you want to do is you go to this fill bounded area, but first we will go to the pick colors from. Then you click on the pick color from and click on the lightest white color, so that it will color the egg. But then you can see that this is like it's on top of the face, so you want it to go down. So you go to select tool, click on the select tool, and then you see here you put it at the very bottom. So lower selection to bottom, click on that, so I'll bring it to the bottom. Just move this for a while, but we don't want the strokes here, so you go to fill and stroke paint, and you click on no paint, so it will remove the stroke. And then you want to duplicate that, the white color, so copy, paste, but this time you want to change the color into this other white grayish color. So you pick color and then click on the other darker white shade, and then you have this. And since this is darker, you want it to use the select tool, and you want to click on the lower selection at the bottom, so it will be at the bottom, and then you just adjust it to make it look like it's a shadow. And if you have a toggle on, and so that you can move freely and it doesn't just snaps to the object, you can turn this one off by clicking on it if you have it turned on, and then you just move around with it to make an egg like that. Once you're satisfied with your egg, you want to select everything, or by clicking shift, then you click on group so that you can resize it. First you have to press on control and then just drag it so you will resize it equally. That. And now to make the square, you can just make a square like that, a perfect square, and then just change the color using the pick color, and click on the blue color, and then go back to your select tool and then put it at the very bottom. Then you can adjust like that. And if everything is okay, you select this and then you group it, and then we will export. Now to just export this selection, you will need to go to File, Export PNG, and then this selection will be selected, and that's the one that you want to export because it is under selection. So you want to hide everything except selected, and then export as. For this purpose, tutorial purpose, I will just save it on my desktop. So name it egg. You can save it as PNG, JPEG, TIFF, webpage. So I'll just save it as PNG and then save. Okay, and now it has been exported. Now let's go to my desktop, and you can see the egg is exported. And now you can put it on your Instagram or show it to your friends and family. And that's it for this tutorial. Oh, don't forget to save your work. So you go to File, Save As, or just Save. Make sure it's as visual file, then you can name it as egg to save the file. So later on you can edit. If you want to edit the file, you can. Even after exporting, you can still edit the file. Just make sure to ungroup it. And that's it for this tutorial video. Thank you. Hello, welcome back to Multimedia and Graphic Designing course. This is tutorial number 3. In this tutorial, I'll be showing you how you can wrap a text around a circle, like this. Okay, first step is launch your Inkscape, and then you'll need a circle. So click on your circle shape tool and draw a perfect circle by holding Ctrl on your keyboard. And once you have a perfect circle like this, you need to duplicate. So to duplicate, you need to right click on the circle and click on duplicate, or Ctrl D for shortcut. After that, you want to change the color so you'll be able to see it clearly. So I'll just choose a light orange, and then you want to shrink it. So resize it to a smaller circle so it looks something like this. But make sure this part is thick enough so that you can fit the text around like this. So now to align it, you hold on Shift and then click on the other circle, the bigger circle. And then you go to your command bar here and then click on Align and Distribution. Then it should appear on your right side. And then you want to make sure it's relative to last selected, and make sure it's center on vertical axis and center on horizontal axis, so that it'll be perfectly in the middle, in the center. Now, after this, you want to go to Path and click on Difference, so that it will cut out the middle part, the small circle, and it will look something like this. After this, you will need to go to your text tool. So on your toolbar, click on the text tool here. Make sure the text is capital letters, so it will look much better compared to not capital. So I'll just wrap text here. So after that, you want to change the font to a thicker and bolder type of font. So on your command bar here, you click on this D icon, which stands for fonts, text and font, and then you can find all the fonts that is available in your PC. So you just want to find a perfect font that is thick but not too thick, so that you can fit perfectly around the circle. Maybe I'll use the same font. Maybe this is okay. Let's apply. It's too thin, so I'll have to find another font that is suitable. Think bouncy. Okay, apply. Now you want to click on the select tool here on your toolbar, the first one, and then while holding Shift, you press the circle here. So you press on it, and then you go to text on your menu bar. Go to text and then click on put on path, so that it will attach the text to the path object here. Now you can see that the text is wrapped around to the side. So in order to make it look something like this, all you need to do is just one tap, and then you can. So in order to rotate this text here, you need to click on this arrow, the rotating arrow, this one. Make sure it's the rotating arrow, and then you just rotate the circle. You don't need to rotate the text. Make sure the text is deselected, and then you turn it like this. And if it's upside down, like this, for example, you go to your select tool, and then you see here, rotate 90 degrees, rotate clockwise, anti-clockwise, and then here flip horizontally and flip vertically. You play with this both to see which one will give the best outcome. So for this one, it goes inside. If I flip horizontally like that and like that, and then you see here, for example, the text is too close apart, so you want to change the space. So go to text here, and firstly we will select all of the text and then make it a bit smaller, so maybe 20. And then here, as you can see, spacing between letters, you increase it so that the letters will space out. Okay, so my Inkscape crashed and it didn't save. So be sure to save your work, or else you need to restart from the beginning. So I just save it as text wrap on your desktop, and then okay. So you want to go back to your font here, font tool, and then you select the font. So I'll make this one a bit bigger. And then here in the spacing, you just increase it. The spacing between the letters, you increase it so that it will fit. And then by using the rotation tool, so you can rotate. And there you go, how to wrap a text inside a circle, around a circle. And if you delete the circle, the text will be to its original place. So if you don't want this to happen, you go to path. You click on the text, and then you go to path and click object to path. And then when you delete the circle, the path will stay like this. I'll show another example. So first you hold down hold down Control on your keyboard. So, and then you drag so that you can create a perfect circle. That, and then go to your text object, text tool, and write the text. So wrap text, and then go to the right side and pick a suitable font. I'll just make it big. Then go to your select tool, and then select the text, and then while holding shift on your keyboard, click on the circle so that it selects both of them. And then you go to text and click on put on path so that it will wrap itself around the path. Deselect it, and then to rotate it, click on the circle and click it once, and then until you see the rotation arrow, and then you can rotate the text like this. And to increase the spacing between the letters, you go back to the font tool, the text tool here, and then just increase the spacing between lines, between letters in your toolbar here. Maybe I'll increase the font size too. And using the select tool to rotate the text. And then I'll just duplicate this. Oh, sorry. I'll duplicate both of this for another example. So after you have this too here, in order to remove the circle, you go to path and click object to path so that you can move the text and then also delete the circle, and then the text will be alright again. So this became back to its original position because I deleted the previous circle. So to get it again, you go shift, click on both the circle and the text, and then go to path. Go to text here and then put on path, so that it'll put it on path. And then if you want it to be on the inside, the text to be on the inside of the circle, you click on the text and then here, you click on the circle and then you click on horizontal or vertical like that. So for this is horizontal, flip horizontal, so the text will be inside. And to remove the circle without reformatting the text, you need to click on text and then go to path, object to path, so that the text will become a path. And then once you delete the circle, the text will look like this. And that's it for this tutorial number 3. Thank you. Hello and welcome back to Multimedia and Graphic Design course. This is tutorial number 4. In this tutorial, we'll learn on how to make a 3D circle icon. So, open up your Inkscape and go to File, and then go to Document Properties, and then it should appear on your right side panel, and then you want to scroll down until it says Border, and then uncheck this Show Border Page Border. You uncheck it to remove the border, and then close the tab, and then you want to go to View on your menu bar, Zoom, and zoom to 101 to 1:1. It will zoom like that. Okay, next we want to create a circle, so I'll just create a circle. This looks fine. I'll use the select tool to make it a bit bigger, so it looks like something like this. Next, you want to duplicate the circle here. So click on duplicate, right click and duplicate, and change the color. And then while using the select tool, just click this arrow in the bottom, and then you want to resize it to look something like this. And now go back to the gray circle and then reduce the opacity. Okay, just a little bit. Or not, okay, never mind. Now take this oval and then you want to rotate it. So rotate. And then click once again to resize. Maybe I want to make it a bit smaller. Okay, let's flip it horizontally. Okay, so on your command bar here, click on the horizontal, flip to horizontal, so it'll look something like this. I'll just adjust it like that and then duplicate, then put this in the bottom. So make sure that they're on top of each other, like, and just leave a gap here. Just adjust it until it looks good. Once you're done, click on one oval and then by holding shift, click on the other one to select both of the beige circle, and then you want to go to path and then click on union to combine them together. Now click on the let's resize for okay. Now you want to resize it a bit, so by holding shift, just resize a bit like that. Okay, now you want to click on the beige circle and the gray circle, go to path and click on difference, so it'll cut the beige circle. So now you want to duplicate this gray circle, so right click and duplicate, and then let's change this color to like this, and then we will resize it. So by holding shift and control, and then you click on this arrow and just slowly reduce it so that it's in the middle. Hold shift and control so that you can reduce it to the middle. And then once that's done, you want to select all of them and then go to your object. Go to your command bar here and click on align and distribution to open this panel. Then click on center vertical axis and horizontal axis so that it's in the center. Next, what you want to do is using the Bezier tool, we will connect this line. So you can zoom in. So press Control and with your mouse wheel, and then just scroll in. So find the Bezier tool on your toolbar. Make sure the toggle snapping to cups node is on. So if you don't have it on, click on it to activate it. So now we will connect the corners. Sorry. Oops. Make sure the Bezier tool is up outside the white area and then go back to connected. And then after you connect it, you can right click to disconnect, so that the outline like this will show. And you'll do the same thing with this one, and this one. So 3 more times. So connect. Okay. Just make sure it is outside the white area here. You can zoom in to see if your line has been connected perfectly or not. Okay. Oops. Okay, once you have it look like this, you want to go to your select tool and select this line. So select by holding shift to select everything. And then once you have this four selected, you want to hold down your shift. While holding down your shift, you want to click on the red part. So red, click on that and then go to path and then union. So that will look something like this. And now you want to go to your tool command bar here and then click on the lower selection one step so that you will bring the red selection down so that the gray is on top of the red. Okay, let's put some colors on. So we hold this, click on the gray circle and go to object, fill and stroke and make sure it's the HSL and increase the opacity. Okay, so we will give it some radial gradient. So click on radial gradient. It looks something like this. Don't worry. So you go to your gradient here on your toolbar. After you click the radial gradient on your fill and stroke, you go to the gradient on your toolbar. Okay. So on this line here, this node, the circle node on top, you click once and then increase, make sure it's HSL and then increase the alpha to 100. And then you want to create two more nodes. So create one somewhere here. Somewhere here will be fine. And then another one below it. So it looks something like that. And then we'll play with the colors now. So on your first node, after you increase the alpha in the HSL, you want to increase, you want to decrease the lightness. So maybe just keep it like that. And then on the second one, you want to increase the lightness just by a bit. Maybe halfway. And then with the third one, you just adjust the lightness also like that. Like maybe around 70%, 70. And then the square nodes in the middle, you click on that and make it white. So it looks something like this. And now you can adjust it by holding Control and Shift. Click on the circle node and then just adjust it until you find the perfect. Oh, you can zoom in to see so that you can play with the nodes. Okay. Once everything is okay, you click on the. Oh, I rotated the canvas again, so. Oh, okay. So we will move this a bit up. So hold the square node and then just move it slightly up. So it looks something like this. And now click on the bottom, on the inner red. We will color it like that, and then don't forget to increase the opacity. Okay, for now we just leave it like that. So we want to create a circle in the middle here to look like it's inside the this circle. So hold down Shift and Control to create a perfect circle. Just drag it. Do you see a perfect circle here? I'll just change it to maybe pink is nice. I'll change it to, or maybe purple. I think pink is okay. You can choose your favorite color. So I'll just go with pink and then put it on top and then select this. Select the grid, or just select everything. You go to the Align and Distribute Objects. You click on vertical axis and horizontal axis. Center them. Then you move it. Once you have this, you click on the pink circle and put put the circle level to the very bottom. So click on this one on your command bar. If you don't have it, go to Select Tool and then you'll see it here. Now this is very important. So you zoom in first by holding Control and your mouse wheel. You scroll to Control. And now you want to make sure that the edges of the pink is touching the light orange here. So to do that, you need to press Control, hold on Control and Shift, and then use this selection tool to resize. Make sure it's touching. You see this is not touching, so just while holding Control and Shift, make sure it touches. It doesn't have to be perfect. As long as it looks okay, it should be fine. Just make sure it's like near. It doesn't need to be perfect, so it's okay. Now we will give it a nice color. So go on your object and then click on Fill and Stroke to bring the color. So we will put a radial gradient. So under Fill, you click on Radial Gradient, and then on your toolbar here, click on the Gradient tool. And then you want to create one node only. So make sure it's somewhere in the between the square and the circle node. Just double click, and there you have it. Now let's play with the color. So the first node, the circle one here on top, let's make sure it's in HSL, and then make sure the alpha is 100%. And then maybe make it a bit reddish. You can play with the color and put the lightness a bit dark. And then on your second one, increase the alpha, or increase alpha and then put a lighter that. So increase the alpha and adjust the lightness to look somewhere light, but not white, just light, so that it will sort of blend. And then the square node, you adjust it to be almost the same as the second one, but not white. Oh no. me just redo this real quick. So I'll adjust the color. And then with the second node, just adjust the alpha to make sure it's 100% and then increase the lightness. Same goes to the square node. Make sure it's like around 80% is okay. Then go back to the second node and adjust it a bit darker. Okay, so I think this looks fine. Or maybe I just adjust the lightness. Okay, so it looks something like this. You need to play around and see until you get the nice color. Now I will play with the nodes, the handler nodes to see. Okay, I think this should be fine. So now click on the circle, the square here, and then you want to move the the gradient to somewhere here, so that it will follow the light, since the light source is coming from like over on top. You can just adjust it. And now you want to select everything, and then we will rotate. So click once again on the object and then rotate by holding Ctrl and Shift. Sorry. Okay. By holding Ctrl, you just want to rotate it so that it will look like it's standing like this. Okay, once you rotated it to make it look like it's standing upwards, you want to click on the light orange color here, and then we'll give it a linear gradient. So click on the linear gradient and then go to your gradient and click on this node and increase the opacity, and then you go to use your color picker tool and click on the lightest shade of the pink, so you look something like that. Same goes for the other tool, so light shade of pink here, so that it will look something like that. And then go back to your gradient tool, and then we will create another node in the middle. So double click in the middle and then make sure the opacity is 100% and then the lightness is darker. So something like this will do. Make sure it's HSL. And then go back to the go back to the first node here. Then just increase the lightness. Or just redo it again. So decrease it to very dark color. And this node to make it lighter. So also the other part, you can adjust it by holding Control. You can adjust. So it should look something like this. And now after this, you want to okay, so now after this, you want to use the select tool and click on the gray circle, duplicate it, and then we will resize it so that it is smaller than this. So by holding Control and Shift, resize it like that. Make sure that snapping to caps nodes is off, and just resize it. Then you can zoom in to see. I think this should be fine because we want to make it look like to make it look like it's a shadow. So just fill it black, then bring it one step down and one step down. So make sure it looks something this, and then we will put a linear gradient to it. So linear gradient, then go to your gradient on your toolbar, click on it, and then this one, make sure the alpha is 100%, and then click on the middle, double click on the middle to create a new node, and then make sure it's a bit dark but not too dark, so like a darker gray is fine. And then here on your lighter gradient, you want to increase it to white color, and then decrease the alpha maybe about halfway, so around 50, and do this for every single node. So that it will look more stand out. And then shift, by holding shift, select on all the nodes here. And then using the color picker tool, select on the lightest shade of pink here. And then we will adjust it again. So go back to your gradient tool, click on the middle, then adjust it so it's a darker pink. And then the opacity is around 50 or 55, doesn't matter. Then here, same thing. So it should look something like this. Next, you want to duplicate again the gray circle, duplicate, but this time make sure it's smaller than this circle. So holding shift and control on your keyboard, just adjust it a little bit. Like that. It doesn't matter if it doesn't show, if it's like outside, it's okay. So now you want to press shift and hold on this one, the pink one, and then you want to go to object, path, go to path and click on union. Oh, okay, wait, undo first. Okay, first we will put this a step below, and then we will adjust the color. So we will add a linear gradient to it, and then with the color picker tool, you want to select on the lightest pink here, so that it will give a nice pink color. And then same as we did with the inner one here, we will go to gradient, and then while holding linear gradient here, we want to double click in the middle, and just adjust it so that it looks nice. I'll make the 50. I'll make this a bit lighter so that the edges will line up perfectly. I'll just adjust the lightness. Okay, once that's done, that's okay. This is the final look. But then you want it to, if you want to make a shadow or something, you can duplicate the gray circle, duplicate, and then you'll flip it vertically, and then horizontally. Uh, Sorry, you flip it horizontally, and you drag it downwards like that. And then by holding Shift, click on the gray circle, go to your align and distribution, and click on the align top edges to the bottom of the anchor. Play around until you have something like this. After that, you'll make this linear. We want it a linear, so click on that and then go to your color, so object, fill and stroke. And then here you go to your linear gradient, click on that, and then click on the gradient here. And then you want to delete these nodes because you don't need it, so press delete on your keyboard and then also press delete. So it will look something like that. Then you want this top and this like that. So it looks like it's a shadow. Oh, okay. And then this one, you want to click on the top node and then click on the color picker tool and select on the darkest gray circle here so that the color is almost the same. Okay. It should be fine. Go back to your gradient tool, adjust it until it's however you like. It's not perfect. It doesn't need to be perfect, so it should be fine. Yeah. And there you go. And that's how you make a 3D circle icon. Thank you. Welcome back to Multimedia and Graphic Designing course. This is tutorial number 5, which is the final tutorial. So, in this tutorial, I'll be teaching you how to make an infographic illustration. So, first of all, you'll need to create a circle. And so, on your toolbar here, click on the circle shape. And while holding Control, just drag it like this with your mouse to create this perfect circle. Now, I want to change this color to gray. Just resize it a bit. And then, once you have this, what you want to do is create a a rectangle. You want to create a very long rectangle like this. Make sure you hold Control so you get the equal size. Then I'll just change the color to red or light pink so you can see it clearly. And then I'll paste it like this. Oh wait, first I'll duplicate this first. I'll duplicate the circle. Right click on the circle and click on duplicate, and then while holding Control and Shift, you just resize it, and then make this color an orange maybe. Make it smaller. Okay, now you want to select both of the circles by holding Shift, and then go to Path and click on Difference so that it'll look like a donut shape. And then what you want to do is align the line here. Make sure it's not too long because we need maybe like this. It's fine. Maybe a shorter, but yeah, shorter one like this. So we need to make sure the line is in the middle. So to do that, you need to go to your command bar on top here and click on Align and Distribute. Then just click on vertical axis and horizontal or not. Control Z and just click on the center on the vertical axis. And then you want to duplicate this. So duplicate, right click and duplicate, and then while holding Control, you want to rotate. So press one time on the rectangle and then rotate. Why is it not rotating? Okay, I'll just rotate. Okay, we just rotate normally. And then make sure it touches the center. Then duplicate again. While holding Control, you rotate also. Then move it. Make sure it touches like the center. We just rotate it one more time. Then rotate like this. So it will look like something like this. Then you want to combine the red lines by holding Shift together. Select them all, the three of it, and then go to Path and click Union, so that will combine the red line. And after that, you want to press Shift and click the circle. And then you want to go to Path and click on Difference, so that it will create a nice gap. And now here, you want to rotate it by holding Control to make sure that this line here is straight, so it will be easier to edit. Then we click on Edit Path by Nodes. So you see this 4 nodes here. So just highlight and select it, the 4 nodes here, and then you click on the Insert New Nodes, so that it will insert 2 new nodes in the middle, in between it. And then you must remember this. So select these 2 nodes in the middle, and you need to remember, because it needs to be the same for the other 2 sides. So on your arrow keys on your keyboard, press the upwards arrow and we will move it upward. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. I think this looks alright. Maybe 13. Okay, just make sure, remember, it's 14 times. You click the arrow button on your keyboard 14 times so that it will give a really nice shape like this. Next, you want to go back to the select tool and then click on the circle here so that it will show the rotate tool. And then while holding control, you want to rotate the circle until the line, the gap on the left is straight. And then you want to go back to the edit path by nodes and do the same technique. So highlight it, make sure it's selected, the 4 nodes here in the corner, and then click on insert new nodes so that it will add 2 new nodes in between. And then you want to press your arrow button on your keyboard 14 times. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Then to zoom out to make sure it looks nice. Okay. Now same step, last step for this part. So go back to the select tool, click one time on the object and then rotate it until this line is straight. And then from here, what you want to do is zoom in and then click on edit path by nodes and then highlight the 4 nodes here and click on insert new nodes so that it will create 2 nodes in between. So using your arrow keyboard, press it 14 times. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Zoom out and see if everything is alright. It looks fine. Then double click, just one click, then rotate it so that it will look nice. So maybe like this will be nice. Okay, I think this is okay. Next, we want to create a square for the background. So just click on the square background here by holding shift so that you can draw a perfect square. Shift and control. And then you want to change the color to gray. I'll change it to gray, like a lighter gray. And then using your select tool, bring it to the very bottom. So it looks something like this. Then shift so that it's in the center. And after this step, what you want to do is for the background, we will go to fill and stroke, which is under object here. Object, fill and stroke. And then you can see the fill. Let's make it a radial gradient. And then you want to go to your gradient bar on your toolbox here. Click on it and then I'll make another node point somewhere here by double clicking on it. Then I'll increase the gradient and adjust it. Maybe I'll change the color to Okay, let's go to HSL here, then change the brightness. Oops. Just adjust with the handler, it can be tricky. Sorry, keep clicking. It's really hard. Oh, I clicked wrong. So it should look something like this. This is alright. And then what you want to do is to duplicate this, and then go to extensions. After you duplicate, go to extensions, and then under generate from path, go to motion. Then make sure the motion, I will make this as 800. Oh wait, I will just live preview it first. And then it will go at 45 degrees angle, and then the magnitude make 200. Preview. So you can see. And then click on apply. And then close it. And then I'll select this and change the color into a really nice gray. Or maybe black color, and reduce the opacity. Yeah, okay, I will use black color. And so you go to the RGB fill and stroke, click on the wheel, and then choose a black color, or from the color palette here, click on black color, and then reduce the opacity in your fill and stroke panel. So it should look something like that. And then you want to bring this to the very back. Very back. Okay, so I'll duplicate the square. So duplicate the square and put it at the very bottom. And then click the motion path here and go to object and click on clip, so that it will create something like this. And then this, make sure it's at the very bottom. Then you have something like this, very nice. Then this, you can, I think you can change the color, the gradient, but I'll not touch it for now since it's already adjusted there. So then I want to edit this, so I want to break apart. So I go to path and then click on break apart to break apart the three objects here. Sorry. So the first one, I want the color to be Maybe this color is nice, and then this white color, and then for the bottom one, let's see, it's a good combination. Maybe this color, yeah, a very muted blue color. And then this is your layout. Don't forget to save it just in case your file crash. So saving your file is very important. In case your file crashes, you can always refer back. You can open it and continue to where it was last saved instead of starting over from the beginning. So I'll name it infographic and save it on my desktop. So now I have this. Now all I need to do is just fill the infographic here. So I'll use text 01 like that, and then I want to select this and then go to text here on top and then change it to a really nice bold. So I think this one's okay. This text, so I'm gonna apply it, and then I'll make sure the color is white. I'll have to press Control and then make this a bit bigger, and you want to put it like somewhere there. And for this, I'll just make the font a bit smaller like that. And then you want to duplicate, so right click and duplicate the font, and then go to your pick color, the Doppler, the pick color tool, and then click on this blue so that it will look nice, and then you go back to the select tool and you can move the text, the font, and then go back to the font tool and then just change the number, and go back to the select tool and then click on the 01, then duplicate, and then put it on the last one here in the blue one, and then using the text tool, or you can just double click to go to the text tool, then change the number, then make sure you position it really nice, and then all left, and what's missing is just a text. So I will just write this as an example. This is text example. This is a text. It is an example. This is just example text, and then I will make sure the font is small so that it will fit, and make sure the color is the same as the number 1 as the font here so that it will match, and then using the select tool to resize and everything. Once you are satisfied with it, you can duplicate it. So duplicate, I'll put it here on the bottom, and duplicate the text again, put it here, and then use the pick color dropper, pick color tool, and then make sure you select the blue one. You can see, but this is too small, so I'll just resize it. Make sure you resize it so that it will fit perfectly inside. And there you go, your very own infographic text illustration. So to export, first off, you need to save the file just in case it crashes. Then you select everything here. And then to export, you go to File and then click on Export PNG file image. And then under this, you want to click on the selection. Then hide all except selected and then export as infographic. I'll go to desktop and save it there. And let's go to desktop right now. And then you can see my infography has been exported. And that is it on how to make an infographic illustration. Thank you. Hello, welcome back to Multimedia and Graphic Design course. In this video, I will not be showing you any more tutorials since we have reached the end of the course. So I'll just give you a summary of what we did so far in the previous videos. So firstly, we have the menu bar here, and then we have the toggle bar here, and then the command bar, then the toolbox command bar, and then toolbar here, and then the color palette on the bottom, and then the status bar, and then the panel here, the editing panel, where you can edit objects and then create new layers, fill and stroke, everything will be here. So firstly, we have the select tool, and then there's the edit path by nodes, rectangle tool, sphere circle tool, polygon and star tool, 3D boxes tool, spiral tool, Bezier tool, freehand tool, calligraphy or brush stroke tool, and then font tool, gradient tool, edit meshes tool, pick color tool, paint tool. So this is the fill tool, then the tweaking tool, spray object tool, eraser tool, and the diagram connector tool. And then you see this little arrow. You can click on it and then you can see the zoom tool and the measure tool as well. And then here in the middle of the screen, you have what we call a canvas. So right now the canvas is in A4 size. And to know if it's a A4 size or not, or other type of size, you can go to File, click on Document Properties, and you can see right now it's a A4 size. And then the display units, we use millimeters. And to not show this line here, you can do is just untick this show page border, and then the line will disappear. Okay, and then we have this layer, so you can create new layer above current. So you will create a new layer, and then you can, there's the blending tool here. You can also delete it by right clicking. You can delete the current layer and go back to layer 1. And then don't forget to always save your file in case Inkscape crashes. Sometimes Inkscape crashes from time to time because of a bug. So you just click on save or save as. So right now I just click on save and then just call this as drawing. And there you have, you can see that this is the file is called as drawing.svg. And then to import a picture, you can go to File, click on Import, and then select the picture. I'll go to my desktop. I'll click on the Poo tool here, the Poo image from Teletubbies, and click on OK. You don't change anything, so and then click OK, and then you have the image imported to Inkscape. Then you can turn on the cuts to node so that you can freely move around so that it doesn't attach to the corner of the box here. And then to align it perfectly, what you do is click on the image, and while holding shift you go to the aligning distribution and then click on vertical, center vertical, and vertical horizontal axis so that it'll be in the middle of the square. And then for the text tool, I can just end of course. Then I'll change the text section from left to right. And then if I want to change the font, I can just go to text here on your command bar. Then you can change the font. You can change the font from there. Then click on apply. Then to change the size, you can either resize it with the select tool, or you go back to the font tool and then click on here to resize. And to delete it, you can always, to delete something, you can always make sure it's selected, and then on your keyboard, you can press delete. Or to undo, you press Ctrl Z on your keyboard, and then to delete, you can just right click and then delete. And that is it for this summary video. And then you have the objects, fill and stroke, the mask, clipping mask, and path, object path. If you want to change the picture to path, you can go to path and then click on object to path, and then it will turn the image to path, and then trace bitmap, and then we have the Boolean operations here, then inset outset, and then filters. We'll change the filter to distortion, swirl. So it looks something like that. And then don't forget the leveling here. If you want to bring the picture below, you press on the bottom, and then to bring it up, you bring it to the top, right selection to top. And then to check for the history, you go to edit and then click on undo history, and then you can see on your right side all the history that you did since you create this SVG file. So you can always go back to which part you want. And congratulations. And this is the end for the summary video. So once again, congratulations on completing this course, and now you have a basic understanding and knowledge on how to use Inkscape program, as well as how to do graphic design. So give yourself a pat on your back, and thank you so much. Have a nice day. Bye.